Heidi ho, Mandee. How are you
Hey.
today?
I feel so good today. I'm
I do
feeling
too.
like light and balanced and back to myself. There's been just so many heavy energies lately, and I've just really felt myself wanting to detox and recalibrate with this upcoming new moon energy we have coming in on Wednesday.
Is that the Pisces?
Yes.
Jennifer, oh, I keep doing it on the wrong side. Jennifer, check this out.
Is she
I have
here?
a client. Yes, she is. I have a client named Tracy that made this, and on the back it says "Together we create." And I told Mandee we need one that says "Mandee and the Midge." Like I feel like we need that because yes, together we create, but it's not just the Midge. So I'm like so super excited. It's Tracy down there. Tracy is the one that made the shirt. I love it.
Tracy made
Like
it. Oh, I'm
she
obsessed.
made it. And I was like, I love this. So we have Jennifer, Sophia, Heather, Glenda, and Tracy. Hey, how are you guys all today? Mandee and I were just talking about the moon, and it was in Pisces, right? Did I see that right, or am I wrong?
It is. It's going to be in Pisces, and it comes in, if you're on East Coast time, which is kind of fun and cool, on Wednesday at 12:34, which is kind of like a neat time for it to come in. And it's just a time where we're getting like a little bit more emotional because a lot of us have been journeying through different shadows and things like that. There's a lot of collective shadows clearly happening. We're sending so much love and light out to everyone in the world right now in the best ways that we possibly can, because a lot of people have a lot of heart energy at this time but are feeling helpless, and your heart energy is so potent and not worth it. Oh yeah, I gotta handle it too. Lighting a
That
candle
is my
in the nicest
that,
ways.
that is my infused God candle for all peace, love, and anything that's going on right now. It is big and beautiful and scary. So if y'all are feeling the feels, you can bring that up tonight and you can talk. It's a safe place to do so. But I've been feeling emotional. Have you been feeling a little emotional or no?
It's interesting. I did a couple weeks ago. I tend to sometimes get waves a little ahead of time, but like the past week, I've just been feeling like really good. And they're saying under this new moon, it's a time where we might be gently guided to kind of sit with some of our kind of darker energies, see if there is anything left to come up and kind of purge and release. But at that time, it also lets us know what we're ready to do, how we're ready to create, how we're ready to step forward. So it's a great time to start planting some seeds of things you want to bring in. Sophia says, great. My husband and I started brainstorming and getting some stuff done for our new jet ski rental business. Where's that? I want to come.
I know, right? Texas. I think she's in Texas. I might be wrong, but I thought she was in Texas.
You have to let us know where you are, and we will definitely tell everybody to come visit you wherever you're at this summer for some fun and some rentals. We're definitely talking about Canyon Lake, Texas. Awesome.
Yes.
I don't know if that's near Dallas, but we're kind of manifesting to be maybe in Dallas at the end of the month and maybe in Nashville area at the end of the month, and might do some pop-up things. So we'll keep you posted because that'll all come to fruition in the next couple of weeks. But we're definitely, Sea Goddess is going to be going to Texas soon, which is cool.
That's super exciting too. I love Texas. Texas, I got a place.
Yeah.
I keep telling Ben, we're like, okay, so right now, no offense to Californians, but California was actually the last state that I ever wanted to live in, and I don't know why. It's just not where my dreams were. And we'll see how it goes because I think I'm gonna love it. But we were thinking Nevada, Florida, and or Texas. And so I was like, so he has like places in all of those places. So I was like, if need be, you can just hightail it out of there and become a maintenance worker somewhere else if that's what happens.
Well, and maybe it doesn't have to be forever. Sometimes we're just meant, like all of us are majorly amazing, energetic beings. And sometimes we're just meant to go hold space in places for a certain amount of time, maybe to hang out on a certain ley line or hang out in a certain place to help us remember parts of our soul or call back parts of ourselves. Maybe we're just meant to be there to learn or to grow. Maybe it is forever. But either way, it's so important to stay present and to honor wherever like our soul is calling us to at this time and see what's there for us.
She says Jennifer says, go, Mandee, go, because yes, it is 100%. And it's funny because you have stated so many times before that like you're this gypsy soul. And that's who I was before my son, who is currently sitting on my couch. So I don't want to trash talk him too much.
Hey, he's an amazing chapter too.
He is
with
an
his own incredible
chapter.
soul
I
that
was
has amazing chapters coming.
I absolutely loved him so very much, but at the same time, I needed to be there in those years for him, and so I was like always, I knew that once I was 40, things were going to change and flip for me, and I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I knew that that was going to be my space to get out and go, and finally start to kind of hop around and see what's up, and like I love people. And I want to meet new people. I want to be a part of different cultures. I want to hear people's stories. Like that's where I'm being called. And so that can happen anywhere. So I'm ecstatic about the changes, but I'm also super excited to kind of talk about that because I think that's what a lot of people are kind of calling for right now in their life is a little bit of adventure too. I feel like people feel stagnant over the past like 2-3 years. So that's something that also I think a lot of people are kind of experiencing and feeling right now.
I just have to say again, Tracy, thank you so much for this mid-shirt. It's just like bringing me so much joy. And I'm so grateful for everybody connecting and creating this awesome little community.
Oh,
love that Sophia said road trip because we're going to try to start doing that with Sea Goddess Healing Arts, taking some road trips, visiting some of the other sea goddesses. We've got one in Tennessee. Clearly, we've got Crystal up in Michigan at this time, but she's going to be together. We create. Look at that. Tracy, I will definitely get you my address, probably email to you after the show. Thank you. Amazing. But and then we have Danny Marshburn. She just opened Infinite Wellness and Yoga in Dallas, and Kendra Hamill. She does higher self healing. She's in the Nashville area. So we have different people all over, and there's going to be awesome kind of pop-up events and things coming. So please like and share and follow, check out Facebook, especially because if you can, and our email, subscribe to our email list because we will let you know where our pop-up events will be.
And she said, Midge, we aren't just moms. Like it's only one role. It absolutely, but I feel like, I don't know. I could go on whole talks about Corey and I. Corey saved my life. He is literally the reason I'm still here today. He was supposed to come into my life. Funny thing is I apologize to him because I feel like he essentially like parented me through a huge transition in my life because he just came out like 50 years old. The kid knew who he was going to be. He could say full sentences at so young. People were floored because the kid came out literally being able to talk. And so I think that he's more of a guide role, a personal guide role for me in my own life. And so him and I just have such a weird type of relationship. So no, I did not give up my life for the kid at all. He kind of, we built off from each other and became very strong and essentially broke so many weird cycles for both sides of the family, like his dad's side of the family, our side of the family, and I don't know. I'm grateful to have been his mom. I don't know why the child picked this hot mess of a soul, but I got to tell you, when he contracted to be my child, he was not supposed to be born. He was a miracle. I was told I was never going to have kids. It was divine intervention. But at the same time, I do got to tell you, like, it was like the whole thing was just too much and he was supposed to be here. So no, when I look back on me being a mom, I wasn't just a mom. That is like the greatest job that I've ever done in my life, to be completely honest. So
I love it. I'm somebody actually I kind of got in not a fight, but like I got a talking to at a retreat because I was doing a talk and I said, I really truly believe that all babies are divine and all souls are divine. And 2 women got upset with me because they were like, oh no, we can choose whether or not we have babies, and there's ways to prevent that. And some women, they're just out of control with it. And I said, doesn't matter about the women or any of that part. All babies and all souls are divine. Souls line up to get here and cannot wait to get in. And I've met the most incredible people who've been born out of rape and incest and have no idea who their family is, things like that. And they can still end up being like amazing bright lights. And most of them, not most of them, but a lot of them do. It all depends on where you're at in your soul journey. And so it was pretty funny because they were very upset with me. But I stuck to it. I was like, no, I don't know. I was like, I just think all souls choose to come here, and sure, we can judge, like, you know, if somebody's a little out of control, because we've seen that. And of course, it's hard because our heart goes out to it and we're like, oh my gosh, this baby is going to be born into this situation, especially, you know, babies that are born addicted and things like that. Like, it's really hard. It's like, these are some of these kind of shadowy energies that we're meant to kind of take a look at. But at the same time, we have to trust that that little soul chose that vessel and chose that situation and chose to take a look at it on a soul level. On a soul
Yes.
level. Not like
You know,
endure pain or anything like that, but on a soul level to learn and grow and help all of us to expand.
I got to tell you, Crystal, I was having I had to go to Lansing today and drive back. And on that, I was thinking about like my stances on life since I've started channeling. Holy shit. Crystal has done a complete flip-flop in most of the things that she understands. And I think I'm going to say this in a way that like people can understand on more of a like conservative type of way. I feel like I have really honed in on this middle ground, so to speak. I still have my old school kind of like ways in which I was taught because of what I was raised by, but I'm really fighting myself, and I'm really not fighting myself, questioning myself in all the things that have come to the surface over the past 10 years of my life, to question why and where that originated from. Where did my belief system come from? When I first started this out, people are going to send me hate mail. I'll take it. When I first started out, like, one of my biggest things were child molesters. Okay. I feel like we can all collectively say they are the worst of the worst, right? I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that what they are choosing to do is accurate, truthful, and or right. However, I'm also going to say that it does not matter who the hell God sits me down upon. I can find redeeming qualities in everybody, and people tend to hate me for this. Like, this is one of the things that people tend to really get pissed off about, because it doesn't matter who it is. Everybody was coming out about Trump. Okay, well, I don't care what you think about Trump and his policies and who he is as a person. This girl right here still finds redeeming qualities. Why? Because we all have redeeming qualities. No matter what we do, what we say, how we treat people, we all do. And every one of us are born divine. We all have that light inside of us. It's a light switch, people. It's a light switch. We choose to turn it on and brighten up the world, or we choose to turn it off and just go through life as shithole people. It's a choice. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's there. And it's our job.
Lay it on the altar. Yes.
Ignite that shit inside of people, because how many people come to you, Mandee, and think they're pieces of shit because this has been their life and this is what it is. And they are just so low within themselves. They're so low within themselves, and they can't feel that for themselves anymore. I don't have the capabilities of essentially knowing somebody's story before they come. And there's reasons for that. It's not my job to judge your life. I'm a shithole person too, to a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there who will say that I am a horrible human being. You know what? That's their perspective. I honor their perspective. I'm not mad at their perspective. And I can probably tell you why they think that way. And I take 100% responsibility for those things if I did it. The thing is that the way I live my life today is different, because I understand that my job is to turn that light switch on and be that person for myself, so I can also be that person for you guys. I am a human being though too. And so there's always going to be those things. But if every single shithole of a human being on this planet is seen as that, nobody's ever going to come along and try to help them turn on that switch. And they'll never change. They'll keep repeating the same things over and over and over again. Because why? Because nobody believes in them.
Amen.
So,
Amen to
sorry
that.
about,
I agree.
Sorry about that. Soapbox down.
That's so much of what we do, you know, at Sea Goddess Healing Arts. What you do, what so many of us who are, you know, healers, teachers, light workers, energy beings, things like that. Like, we are here to help put the light back on and to help you come back up, come back out, because you are not what happened to you. at all. Doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Doesn't mean you don't have to go through some healing and lick your wounds and sit with it a little bit, but you are not a slave to it. And we are not.
We're all awesome people. We got to find that awesomeness for ourselves. That's the one thing I think I've learned is that no matter what people say about me, it kind of has to come to an epiphany to me. So like I really still struggle with people giving me praise or being like, "Oh, you're so awesome." I'm like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just a human being." And I really struggle with that. But there are like some divine moments where spirits just like poof and they drop it upon me. I'm like, "Yeah, I am kind of cool, aren't I?" And in those moments I'm like, "Yay, Crystal, we did this." So, yeah, there's been a lot of things coming to the surface and I feel like this whole like thing that we've been seeing, witnessing around the world, it's kind of raised in me essentially how far I've come over the past 10 years where I feel about certain things, people, policies, wars, all of the vibes, all of the feelings, and it's amazing to see that growth when you finally take a step back and realize just how far you've come.
Well, I think with this new moon energy too, it's about really letting go and letting go of old stories of ourselves and letting go of like things we once controlled in particular. And allowing ourselves to flow. And that doesn't mean you don't control yourself. It doesn't mean you don't wake up and create whatever kind of routine it is you need to do to get throughout the day and to show up for yourself. But at the same time, it means you release control and expectations over other people and other situations that you have no control over. And if something doesn't feel good, if something doesn't feel right, doesn't feel in alignment, if it's dragging your energy out, that means that's enough. That speaks enough for itself. Saying that is not in alignment for this time doesn't mean never, just means at least right now. Let's just listen to what our energy and our bodies are saying the most. And that doesn't mean like sometimes like you might be like, okay, I really want to go and try this yoga class or this dance class, or I want to go and do art, but I'm a little afraid. I'm like nervous. Like sometimes like there's great rewards on the other side of our fear. And like what happens is if after you go to the class of or the experience or whatever it is, if you come out feeling okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. I'm lit up, like this is great, and your energy feels good, then okay, great, safe. Let's move forward. Let's do it again. As long as you're feeling content or peaceful or positive about it, then it's probably in alignment for you. If you're getting way too much anxiety, which let's face it, most people do when they have to go to work every day, because a lot of that is really out of alignment. And there are things we can do to create peace right now while we're at work and while we're bridging into something that is going to bring us abundance, but also be more in alignment. So all of these energy centers are really, this is what this Piscean energy does. It makes us get really sensitive and tune in to especially our boundaries and our biomagnetic field and what it is and how it's making us feel.
So in that, you said something about fears and anxieties, and I was actually going to say, like, afterwards, I was going to be like, yeah, so like you guys, if you're having any fears and anxieties, you have anything that you want to talk about and lay it on the altar tonight, let us know, because that's kind of what we're here for. We're not just like talking amongst ourselves. You want to talk about something specific that you're dealing with, struggling with, or thinking about yourself, bring it, you can. So I wanted to open that door. And then Jennifer said, oops, that's not the one. She said, yes, it's a gift and a curse. Like to be able to see people in that state, it really is, because society really wants us to kind of like step back or whatever. But at the same time, like we can't, we have to be ourselves. And then I also was like,
to stay victims to it.
yes. And we're not. We're strong, amazing, capable people. Men, women, it doesn't matter. All children. I've met some amazing children who are just like, holy crap, you're on fire with who you are as a human being. I can't wait to see you when you're 30. But it's an amazing experience to be able to have and hold all of those things that you just talked about, and also have those breakthrough systems that show us and teach us how to love ourselves a little bit more on the internal level, and then bring that out, and then like kind of see ourselves on that pedestal that we've worked so hard to create. Because let's just face it, a lot of you guys put people on pedestals. We generally put ourselves last, if ever, on the pedestal of life. And so it's kind of cool to be able to have these little breakthroughs in sessions, journeys, whatever, healing, that kind of allows us to sit outside of that and feel those emotions that are coming to the surface. So yes, it's exactly beautiful. And thank you, Tracy, very, very much. I appreciate that comment. It's funny because I feel like therapists and people like Mandee and me and everybody, I feel like they need to work together, because it would be Awesome. Glenda, I'm trying to flow in my day. Some days I have to ride a wave or two, like in a bad way or a good way, or anxiety. Like, what are you experiencing, Glenda? Which way are you talking?
Also, like on that note too, like, yo, that's the day, all day, every day. Like we surf, it's wavy. Like, okay, we wake up in the morning and our dog is puking, and somebody else is upset, and we have a headache, and we're like, shit, like this is not going to be the best day. And if we focus on that and we stay in this energy of this is not going to be like the best for me today, then we'll perpetuate it. The other day, I woke up with a migraine. It's allergy season. I really don't want to take an allergy pill. I've been doing so good at not taking anything like that. And so like right now, I'm even drinking like cucumber, ginger, lime juice, like things to cool me down and to calm down the inflammation and to help me move out the allergies. And I woke up with a crazy migraine, and I was like, I could have been like, this is going to be a shit day. This sucks. Or I can like just work through it right now and put some medicines on. So I did my normal routine. I walked my dogs, and then I was like, what if I look up like a recipe in my diffuser for headaches? Maybe it'll help. And so I looked it up, and I mixed peppermint, lavender, and frankincense. My headache was gone in an hour. I was like, oh my gosh. It was like half hour. I was like, I'm starting to feel a difference here. Like, this is amazing. And then all of a sudden, like I was able to like play a song and dance for a while and do yoga. And I felt really good. And it was really great. And then I had to deal with some like BS with work and things like that. And I was like, oh, this is like a headache. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to dance and I'm going to shake it off. And I danced and I shook it off. And so it's just so important to try to ride those waves and to stay present. And if you have a shit day and you're out of commission and you lay in bed all day, that's okay too. But it's about also just doing your best to stay present when these things come in and doing what you can do to meet it in the moment. Because there's, countless opportunities and moments each day to start over or to just be honest or authentic with how we're feeling.
She came on today with some awesome music. I was like, yes, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
It's like, I had my 90s dance radio on.
Jennifer says it's all a wave, more about finding the motion of the wave. The wave won't change per se, just the tides. So if you can learn your way, much easier to ride. I absolutely love, what a good analogy. What a great analogy. I've always wanted to learn how to surf, Jennifer. I mean, like, that's a cool thing.
I was talking to Jennifer earlier today, our midge captain here. I don't know what we're going to call Jennifer, but yes, I love it. And she made a good point to me. We were talking about some things, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but we were just talking about boundaries and things. And she was saying how to her, it means like, it's really unconditional love. And it's saying, I love you enough and I love me enough to not stay in this situation or in this toxic relationship, or to honor it enough to take space. And that's actually like compassion, because I'm not going to go low blow with you. I'm not going to jump in, the ring and whatnot. And so I really appreciated that, kind of speaking code a little bit, but that was like the energy of it. And it was a really great analogy and lesson. And like, it really is an opportunity to step into higher love, to not engage, to not do the low blows.
Yes, I was reminded of that last week when I started wanting to do low blows. That's one of Crystal's toxic traits, by the way. I'm like, let's do this shit. I get into like fight girl mode. I put in the mouth guard, and I'm like, let's go. If you knew my family and where I came from. But at the same time, breaking cycles and getting out of that state. And I have a friend named Tiffany. She was just like, hey, Crystal. She was beautiful about talking me off the ledge, because she went through a similar situation. She was like, look, y'all, I understand where you're at, and I understand this is because I was there too. Like, trust me. But trust me, it's going to change. Like, there are things that are changing, and it's going to be better. And I think we all need that person in our life sometimes to remind us that, yes, I see where you're at, and yes, I see how this makes you feel, and this is what the situation may be. But also at the end of the day, we kind of have to push away from that energy instead of get involved in the energy, even though we may feel sometimes like it's been taking time and time and time. And it's just like, we want it done so bad. It's just be more patient, because it's not done yet for a reason, I guess, is what I've learned. through the process of some things. Like there's still something playing out that hasn't been seen yet. And so we have to learn how to kind of just be patient with the process, because in that there's lessons for us. So that was beautiful.
We have to move with nature. Not everything is in bloom all year round. Like in the north,
Right.
we're in the middle of winter right now. Things are finishing dying off. And then, like we were talking about allergies, new things are in bloom and coming to life right now.
And we have Sophia. She says, last week was pretty rough, and our family dealt with a bullying incident where my son was physically hit on the bus. I'm sorry for your son. I felt so bad and worked through it to hold the school and the parents accountable, all the while making sure we didn't fall into victimhood. Good for you, girl. It brought out a lot of inner child healing for both my husband and I. God, I could cry. But I am so proud of how we dealt with that. Good job. Good job to you and your husband, both of you. That's a hard situation to deal with. It really is difficult because we put ourselves into those right in the middle. Like, no.
That's the work. That's when you show up. Like it's when the shit's going down. It's when life's not easy and things are hard. And, how are we going to show up and deal with this and honor it and say, hey, it's not okay. What you went through wasn't cool. Here's the tools that we can incorporate in order to move forward. And it's really nice because it will bring up a lot of inner child wounding, especially for parents, but it's opportunities to heal your lineage. It's opportunities to clear karma, to release patterns. It's opportunities to change the way, and however you choose to respond to it or your child chooses to respond to it creates ripples and it sets examples. And it helps make the collective load a tiny bit lighter. So thanks for working through that because it's not easy.
It's like, and Sophia has like the best children. She has like the most sensitive children too. So it's definitely a beautiful situation. I think when we kind of are able to be in that moment, I guess, with our kids too, and like walk through it together, because I feel like her children are very sensitive and empathic also. Glenda says, I'm watching less TV, kind of all over the place, had a really weird dream that shook me, and I wrote it down literally as soon as I woke, but I can't forget about the dream that I had, and it was a few days ago. If you want to share the dream, maybe we can help you step through it, but if it's too personal, I mean, whatever, but we're opening the space for you to be able to do so. Jennifer says, I appreciate you too, sister. High vibrations. And then we have Matthew says, hi, ladies.
Hey,
hi.
Matt. Matt is Ursula's husband, and he's one of our sea gods, and he helps us all the time with tech and promotion and great things and just being supportive. So thanks, Matt, for being in the house.
I thought I had recognized that last name. I'm like, I was trying to pinpoint where the last name was coming from. Sophia says, especially my boy, he is so sensitive, and I want to preserve that. We need more sensitive boys in the world, and that is absolutely, absolutely correct. Sadia, if I'm saying that incorrectly, please tell me how to say your name. Hello, can you connect to my grandma Josie? I love that. I love you. And I'm literally, that's when Crystal's mouth comes in. I'm like, I love how people think I'm a telephone. I'm not. You bring the people to me, guys. Your people come to me. And I am going to say that you actually do have somebody over on, and I'm going to say it's actually two sides of the family, because I have somebody on mom's side of the family stepping in, but I also have a grandmother energy stepping in on dad's side of the family. I have this being given to me. And when I'm going to say grandmother on dad's side of the family, I think we got a great grandmother because she's passing my baton back twice. So I think I have a great grandmother on dad's side of the family. I have lots and lots of love being, and she is scooping you off the ground. And that means to me, when they lift you up above your head, that means that you're going through some changes in your life. She's giving me a roller coaster ride, which usually means to me that you're kind of going through it right now in your life. But she's also giving you 2 thumbs ups, which means that you kind of need to take a deep breath within your soul and remember that you're doing a very, very, very good job, because there are some changes taking place in your path that are not necessarily changes that you want to have. Okay. She is not making me feel like these are things you asked for. And I think that if given the opportunity, you would completely shut them down and go back to the way things used to be. And I know sometimes things are very difficult. And I'm actually going to ask Mandee to kind of pull a card on her too, just to make sure that what I'm receiving is accurate and correct, because I want to make sure I'm picking up for her and not somebody else. But what they're doing is they're literally making me feel like I feel like you're kind of in the midst of a storm right now in your life. And they're giving it to me in a way that, like, sometimes we really freak out because when we're in the middle of a hurricane season, it's very anxious for us, and we can't always see, like, the rainbow beyond the storm. And how they're presenting this to me is they're actually making me feel like you're not going to like the answer. It's going to be about 1.5 to 2 years before things actually open up for you, but they're really making me feel like you're doing a beautiful job of riding out the storm differently than what you would have in the past. And so how she's presenting this to me is she's really making me feel like you're being placed into situations that you don't want to be placed in. And I also want to say that I feel as though you're kind of the cornerstone for everybody around you. And so I know she wouldn't have said this if she were here, because she is 100% making me feel like this is not the type of woman she was, because I feel like family was first for her, completely first for her. But she is making me feel like there are some situations that you should probably disconnect from, not turn your back from, but disconnect from, because she's giving me a revolving door, which means that people are recycling the same energy in their life, and you can't do anything to fix this. And I feel like you're bending over backwards trying to make everybody comfortable and happy in their life and fix a situation that you don't really have control over right now. And so she's really wanting you to know and understand, at the end of the day, some of these things are not your job to handle. I know you want to. I know you want to fix it. I know you want to make it better. But she is really, really, really making me feel like these are not your problems to fix. But she is congratulating you wholeheartedly on taking all the steps that you have over the past 1.5 years, because you've completely changed and switched your life. She also wants you to know, yes, you're going to be successful. Yes, you're going to be successful. You are going to get the things that you're working for right now. And I feel like you were getting so frustrated because you don't see them coming into your life the way that you wanted them to, as fast as what they were supposed to be processed. But you're going to get it. There's been hurdle after hurdle after hurdle after hurdle, and you have done jump them. I know you're weak. I know your legs hurt, and I know you're tired. But once again, it's turning. The path is turning. Keep walking, and I do believe that you are going to come out with the outcome that you want. It's just taking a little bit longer because there are some doors that have to be shut along the way. But my dear Lord, woman, you are a glorious soul, and I feel like you are seriously shaking up the world around you, wherever the crap you are, because I really think that you are changing some things, which change, once again, just like Mandee and I have talked about today, change isn't always easy. It's messy sometimes. So please just know, keep on the path, keep giving yourself the love, and believe in yourself through the steps that you're making. It's happening for a reason, for the greater good. Okay. She gives you love, and she's also extending to me pink roses and white roses. White means peace, love, and happiness, and also healing inside of us. And the other one just means that she's surrounding you in love. So that's how she's giving it to me. I'm going to let Mandee pull her cards.
Well, speaking of roses, this is from the Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light deck, and the whole back of it is roses. The first one, it's actually all these cards line up with exactly what you were bringing in. First one is boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? This was actually a really big lesson for me even this week. This is something we can constantly reevaluate and constantly take a look at where we can tweak it a little bit, where we can make decisions from our own heart that are going to serve us. So what they're showing for you is this is a lot of not saying yes when you really mean no, not overextending yourself, opting for some self-care and some slowdown when you can, in place of being of service, because you can't give from an empty well. So they're showing a lot of this is energetic for you. And even just like phone conversations, maybe you get stuck talking for like a really long time. Maybe it's about like having shorter ones with certain people, things like that. And then your next card is Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, the divine plan. So rumor has it that Anna, grandmother of Jesus, was actually this amazing teacher and alchemist and light worker and way shower, and that she actually helped to train Jesus and Mary Magdalene in a lot of their skills in alchemy, which was about just healing yourself and finding God within yourself and connecting up to source as much as possible. And they're just showing a big connection with not only your grandmother. So it's really nice that you called in a grandmother and you pulled Anna, the grandmother of Jesus card. They're showing a connection there as well, and that you are very connected in many, many lifetimes, including this one. And everybody, we do call on as many people as we can, and Jesus is one of the high ones up there that people call on, and he's amazing. But don't forget, he comes from a long line of healers too, and Anna, grandmother of Jesus, is someone we can all call in as well. And then last but not least, you got the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits Soul Tribe. They're showing spend some more time talking and hanging out with people who are on a similar vibe at this time, are able to inspire you, be a bit of cheerleaders for you at this time. And trust your intuition, make decisions based on what your heart wants most, because it will get you exactly where you need to be.
Yay! So, like, it's really funny because once again, it's just like that path change and keeping yourself in a state of love with yourself. And so I do hope that you do that. And also, like, I just cannot tell you enough, like, everybody's cheering for you on the other side. Everybody's cheering for you because, my Lord lady, your life has not been so easy. So I just want you to know that you're a pretty awesome person. And I think that you have some amazing things coming your way if you give yourself kind of the ability to receive the blessings that are supposed to be given to you, because anxiety is a problem that I think a lot of amazing people, light workers, have. And they're really making me feel like you kind of get caught up in your bubble a little bit and get staticky within yourself. So remember to cleanse and clear your bubble and make sure that you're grounding yourself. And you can Google that however you want to. There's a million different ways that we can ground ourselves. I tell people, if you've never done it before and you don't really want to call on anything, touch a tree. Literally just touch a tree, and in your head be like, thank you so very much for grounding out this energy and taking it and doing something beautiful with it, because and they usually are very cool about it. I do talk to trees. I'm that weirdo, sorry.
Yeah. Trees are what's up, and they have been around way longer than us, most of them, a lot of them, and they hold space and they help us to breathe and grow. And if you haven't checked it out, there's some like amazing documentaries. One of my clients, I have not watched it yet, but recommended one today to me on Amazon Prime called Intelligent Trees. And there's also a TED Talk by Dr. Suzanne Simard, I think is her name, Suzanne Simard. And her like whole life purpose was like to learn how trees connect. And she like worked as like a scientist pretty much somewhere in like Canada, did all these like different experiments to figure out how trees communicate and what they do. And like if one's down because of their root systems or something happens, they'll send over light and radiance and energy and things. And they're truly like family systems and connected. And it's absolutely incredible. And they communicate, of course, at a different speed and frequency and sound than we can hear or pay attention to, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And so they literally do heal you if you allow yourself to go and to be held, and to, if you can get your feet on the ground, if you can touch a tree, if you can just breathe and be, even if you just sit in your room and ground your feet and think of trees, like it really, calling in that energy makes a huge difference. So sorry,
Yes.
I got the geeky side. No. Like, yeah, go down the rabbit hole. Like there's so many things. Like if you want to get over your own drama, or you're like, yo, I'm sick of being on my own loops, like nothing's serving me right now, go ahead and like geek out on something. Like be like, I've always wanted to learn about this. Oh, I have a phone in my hand that has instant gratification and technology, and I could just learn about anything I want to learn about right now. Like let yourself get a little distracted by something that might bring you a little bit of joy at this time.
I love the way you said that, instant gratification. It's so true. Sometime in May, beginning of May, because my son is done with college, his first year in college, May 6th. And so we're going to be leaving sometime in May. Ursula
May
says
7th is when our Light and Sound. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah. May 7th is when our Light and Sound Healing Arts Festival is, our second annual one at the Absecon Lighthouse, Mother's Day weekend. And it's all about honoring the Mother Earth, that energy within you, the mothers, the Divine Mother, honoring the Mother. And then Ursula hopped on and said that she and Matt are both in the house watching. Last week was so extra. I can vouch for you, Urs. It was no coincidence. We taught a self-love and self-care workshop on the 2222 portal, which we did. It was beautiful. It was at Abra Merlina's studio in Ventnor, New Jersey. She's an incredible sound healer. If you haven't checked out her page or her studio, we encourage you to. And Ursula also said the experience was an excellent reminder and lesson in choosing love. It really was. And we truly cannot give from an empty well. And when we are feeling anxiety, it's often because something's not in alignment with us. It's because something's not quite right. And some of the ways we can do that are by tending to ourselves. The first one is sleep. Like most people just do not allow themselves to get enough sleep anymore. you know, with our instant gratification and technology, it's easy to work at all hours of the night. It's easy to be connected with anybody at any time. It's really hard to turn your effing phone off and like maybe read a book and let yourself get some like real, true, deep sleep, like back when we were kids.
So I'm going to do a plug. Go to Sea Goddess Healing Arts, because you guys will find a lot of people on there. Mandee's a part of it, but they also have other people who are a part of what they're creating, doing. And so they have different healers, different readers, different types of people who do different types of stuff. And every time somebody comes to me and they're like, I want a psychic reading, I'm like, go see these ladies, because they have the people that you're looking for. Crystal doesn't do the psychic stuff. I do the spirit stuff. And so they are able to kind of give you some of those more deeper answers that you're wanting, or, you know, the things that you're sinking, I guess, when it comes to any and all of your psychic information that we're providing. That's, I always kind of am like, they're amazing psychics. So go to their page, check them out.
Sister.
Seriously. Glenda says, yes, I don't mind sharing. Long post warning. I watched a flood.
Thank you, Glenda. We love you.
But it was a large flood, but not from a tsunami, but was what I was watching from above, like hovering the way, I already understand this, like hovering the way a helicopter does. The water was clear, so then I could see the vehicles and the people under the water. Then I'm in the water. You know how dreams do, flip and new scene. Scuba divers got me out because I was pulled down, but I wasn't drowning, wasn't even emotionally affected. She was just like watching it happen, which is why it's so weird. The only reason I woke was because, and I can't see the rest of it, so I'm super, super sorry, but I don't know if.
Hold on. I got it.
Do you? Okay.
Yep, I think I can see the whole thing. Oh, wait, maybe I can't. Nope, just kidding. I can't.
Okay. Well, Mandee, what's your take on her dream? Do you have a take on it, or
you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
Yeah, that's complete. You know, you go first. You go first. I'm sure you're probably going to say something along the same line as me. So.
Well, I just think it's so divine because Glenda's just so amazing and such a lighthouse, and also very, very sensitive. And we're in this Piscean season right here, and there's no coincidence, I think, that water is communicating and being one of the biggest things. And water is incredibly cleansing, and many of us have been in past lives in ancient Lemuria and Atlantis and different places where we have gone out via flood. And it's a way that sometimes spirit will communicate with us. But I think the cool thing about it was that your higher self was showing you that you're able to kind of survey the scene and look above and jump in and out of the tides and the currents without feeling like you are drowning or getting under pressure, with trusting. And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't know why I'm in here, but like the scuba divers were bringing you back up. And so I think it's really something powerful to note that you weren't emotionally infected. And I think it's your guides giving you a little heads up, and your higher self just saying like, hey, you know what? You're doing pretty good right now. Yeah, there's crazy shit going on in the world and we don't know what's going to happen today, but overall, I'm doing my best, and I'm riding the waves, and I'm surfing through. So if there's more to that you can add in or paste, let us know.
Literally what I picked up on that
last part. Perfect.
That's kind of how I saw it too, was the fact that I think, based on what your people in my head are saying, I think that in the past, if a situation like 5 years ago, if the situation that is taking place on a global level right now were to have taken place, you probably would have freaked out a little bit more, been more anxious because of your empathic abilities. As empaths, we tend to soak and absorb in all of those things from around us and feel everybody's insecurities, anxieties, and fears and all those things. And 5 years ago, you weren't as grounded, you weren't surrounded, you weren't taking care of your mental, emotional state. And so this was their way of kind of coming in and patting you on the back and saying, look, beautiful freaking girl, we freaking got this shit. We don't got to worry. Just absorb it, or not absorb it. Sorry. Just observe it and see what's going on. Watch it, feel it out, but don't get too involved. And so they made you feel complete comfort and understanding in those moments of complete insecurity and what we would usually freak out in. And so I take it as a sign that your guides are congratulating you on how you've been handling all of the tide changes that have been taking place over the past week and a half to 2 weeks. So I say congratulations.
You ready for this part? So she finished it up and said, let me write the last part. I woke because I heard 3 taps on the window and heard my husband's grandmother say my name. I woke up and realized that I had overslept. I thanked her and then I wrote down the dream. And then she said, yes, 5 years ago, I would have been in immediate panic.
Ay. So see, my dear, all dreams are so divine. I love dreams. I love them tremendously. The crazier, the better for me. I love dreams. So yes, and we're gonna go to this. Lindsay Walker says, I would love a card if you wouldn't mind pulling one for me, pretty please. Pretty please, Mandee.
I pulled you 3. I like 3 tonight. Your first one is Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. So the Akashic records are where our soul's journeys are kind of held. All of our imprints of our soul, all of the records that we have, the lifetimes that we've been in, whether you were Cleopatra or Joan of Arc or, you know, a pharaoh or whatever it was, all of your different experiences are held in your kind of your soul chamber. And that's where the Akashic records are. When the Akashic card presents for you, they're showing this is an opportunity to really trust where your heart is leading you at this time. Trust what your soul is guiding you to do. If there's a big thing, take some breaths, take a day or two, maybe journal on it and ask your angels to show you exactly what it is. But they're showing at this time, it's kind of a yes. There might be some radical changes coming up because then we move into your next card, which is the theme of tonight, align your life. What is no longer in alignment with who you truly are? So there's things falling away for you. They're showing you've gotten like a little radical, maybe even sometimes a little irritable with things, but it's because you're calling in new things that are meant for you at this time. They're going to give you a lot more peace and love and contentment. And sometimes it's a little scary, but it's important to be brave and go ahead and make those decisions to align your life with things that feel more at peace, more at ease. And then last but not least, you got play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. They're showing that you do take it really seriously. You are trying to do your best out there at this time, and you are doing your best. And sometimes some of the biggest self-care is to let yourself just be loose a little bit, have some fun. This card, she's literally like dancing in a martini glass coming out of it. There's a beach, sun, all the good things, crystals. So do whatever it is that you need to do to bring you a little bit of joy. Sometimes for me, it's just like Crystal said, I was having myself a little dance party right before we got on here because I was like, all right, it's 7 o'clock. Got to like get my energy pumping. So I'm ready to hold space for everybody and with Crystal and show up and be like my better self at this time. So let yourself play and know that you're very held at this time, sister. And thanks for asking us to share with you.
And once again, please correct me if I'm wrong, but Sadia says, thank you, ladies. No, it really hasn't. I've come a long way. So congratulations to you on how far you've come. And just please know that I'm not downplaying like the chaos that you're experiencing right now, because chaos is still chaos and it feels like crap. And it does kind of feel like we're constantly in this treading water state right now based on how they're showing me your life. So I got to tell you, I am so sorry that the struggle is real right now for you. But I also have to tell you what a beautiful empowerment it has been too, because you are so strong. We're just kind of sometimes get really tired of being that person. So please hear me when I say I do not try to downplay all the chaos that's being created and stirred up. I see it this small, and I know for you it's this tall. Okay, so Tracy says, Crystal, where am I with my pain in the ass, i.e. goat demon? That is a funny story. And if you give me like, it does, Mandee will love that story. I can share it with her secretly, but this is like one of the coolest experience past lives in a healing that I've experienced, because I don't do past lives very often. But this one right here, I was like, whoa. Never ever have I in 12 years seen anything like this. It was fun. Are you feeling anything on that? I feel like you're making all the right moves. And it was funny because she contacted me this weekend and I completely Spirit blocked her. And the reason is because sometimes, my dear, as mentors and teachers, we have to let people get through stuff themselves to empower themselves to know that they have the answers. So if I don't respond to you, there's a reason. I'm not ignoring you. I've seen it. I see you. I see you. But
Oh
at the same
shit.
time, sometimes we have to believe enough in ourselves to know that we have a gut that we can feel. That's part of the process in learning these gifts. And so I don't know about Mandee, but when I mentor people, I'm pretty dang honest with them about how much I give in some of these things, because I can't. Sometimes spirit's like, no, let them deal with it. Let them deal with it. Let them simmer. Let them sit. Let them think. Because in those moments of not getting an instant answer, that's the moment that we ignite our own power inside of us. And that is probably one of the most important parts of the journey, is listening to our gut and understanding we have those answers. So I'm going to say you're doing the right moves. And I could say more, but I won't. Not, I won't. I'll just say you're doing really good. Ben says that has really worked for me. And Ben, I don't know what you're talking about. That's my husband, so I love you. Jennifer says, do tell Tracy. Matthew says, best of luck. Thank you. Jennifer, hi Ursula. I can't see you. Ursula, oh, thanks, Midge. I love you guys so very much. I love the conversations. I really do. It makes me happy. Jennifer says, the last part is important. Sophia, are there any tiers of spirit guides? I've gone down a rabbit hole and found that some people have channeled dragons as spirit guides. Ben does. Ben's spirit guide is a dragon, one of his.
Ursula.
I've always been drawn to dragons, but I can't visualize any of my people. I hope I hope my guides are all animals. There's totems, hon. Totems are animals. The totems are actually spirit guides as animals. So that's completely that's 100%. Anything when it comes to any other religion, I'm sure Mandee can probably name a few. I don't, because I'm not the book gal. But at the same time, I've seen spirits in all forms, guides in all forms, and I've had the beautiful blessing of being able to do some native journeys, because I've taken classes on being a shaman. I do not claim to be one because I don't have a lineage. But at the same time, I've been able to do some amazing journeys through spirit and kind of hone in on what my spirit animals are. So yes, that is definitely a capability. Ben's is a red dragon.
And they're showing up a lot right now. They're showing up so much. And I have a dear friend who shared with me that she did a journey a long time ago and had this incredible past life journey, and then like meeting one of her guides, and it was a wolf, and she like knew she was herself in a past life as a wolf, and then she had like connected with a guide as a wolf, and she came out of this journey, and her teacher, and it was like the most magical thing she'd ever had, and the person who was facilitating it told her, oh no, that's not possible, that like you weren't a wolf, because that couldn't happen. And she was like, what? Like, I just had the most like intense, amazing experience in my life. And I was like, oh, of course she could have been. Like, and there's so much. I think we could be everything. I think we're meant to be that tree that sits around for 600 years. I think we're meant to experience different lifetimes and different dimensions and life bodies here on this planet and in others. And it's absolutely possible. And dragons are something that work very closely with many, many people at this time. And it's absolutely nothing to be afraid of. And it's important to just allow yourself to witness and see exactly what it is that you're being drawn to and how it's supporting you at this time. So thanks for bringing that up, Sophia.
Absolutely. Carrie, Mandee, my dear, can you please pull some cards for Carrie? I love her. Yeah. I didn't miss you. I didn't see your comment. I'm so sorry, Carrie. And I'm presuming, because I didn't see your comment, I'm presuming you wanted a card. I love Carrie so much. You missed me, but I know I ask almost every week. This job is sucking the life out of me. I have been asking the angels and guides for help, guidance, and protection. You're dealing with a lot, my sister. You are dealing with a lot.
Carrie.
Many changes taking place, and it's weird.
All right. So number 1, you got soul family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So important right now to just connect with people who are energetically giving you a little bit of boost in things that you need. They're showing you don't have a ton of time to be like, spending a ton of time with a lot of people, but like maybe set like a phone date once a week with like a really good girlfriend or someone you trust, or, you know, if there isn't anybody you feel that with right now, take some time to call that in, because you are not meant to go through this alone at this time. And it is important to have some scheduled time with soul family in order to help discern what's going on in your life right now and what all the stresses are. You then also got wait, no, postpone, no, pause, wait, say no. Important to take a beat right now. Don't make any rash decisions. If somebody's kind of pressuring you to do something, or you're feeling pressure with things, even at work, take a beat. Lead by example. Say, you know what? I need a breath at this time. I need a timeout. Do not say yes when you really mean no. And if you can, slow down as much as possible at this time. Last but not least, Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realms. This is an incredible card. There's all kinds of master teachers on here. It's got Jesus and Mary, and it looks like probably Oshan and Buddha and so many people. And they're showing that it's important at this time to really just ask for help, not only from your soul family, but from your Council of Light. Take a breath and say, angels, archangels, spirit guides, helper beings, Council of Light, Jesus, God, whoever it is that you want to call in at this time to help and assist you, just ask. They are there. They are there to support you. Know that it's important to take a breath at this time and ask for help from soul family, from your Council of Light, and then most of all, from yourself. You got this.
Love you, Carrie. You're never a bug. You're never a bug. That's why we're here on Mondays, guys. That's why we're here. So if you want a card, ask for a card. Mandy's got your back. Lindsay says, thank you. Matthew says, you got us stuffed, Mandee.
Oh, thanks, Matt.
I love that. We should have like a little sound effect, like, you know, when they like do 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 in Mario. I feel like we need that. My thing. Glenda says, Crystal, you were spot on with the last week and a half. Also, Tracy, go ahead, tell the story. Okay, so I'm gonna make this like super quick because we only have a couple minutes left. She came to me for a healing, and in the healing, I had seen, and once again, please y'all understand, Crystal is the most skeptical medium you will ever meet on the planet. So when I see some crap, sometimes even I'm like, wait, what? I don't think so. But I legitimately saw that she had a family in one of her past lives. They literally made me feel like it was probably like 3 lives ago, because it looked in period wise around the 1700s based on how it was. Her soul was given up before she was even born to dark arts. Like her family legitimately like said, here, you can have her. And so it's still carrying into this life. And that was like one of the things I've never seen that, because first off, I'm based on how my guides have presented this to me and all of the people who help me heal, we can't even give up. Like we can give it up, but at the same time, like we have to do some things to do so. But you can't, if you, let's say, how am I going to explain this in words? There's no way that something can attach itself to you unless you allow it. That's how I'm going to say that. Okay. It doesn't have the right. Dark things don't have the right to attach themselves to you unless you give them that power. The thing is, if the power was given in a later life, and this is how attachments work, it works with the detriment of our mindset, the detriment of who we are and how we hold ourselves back and hold ourselves down, and depression, all the bad things that we think, do, and feel around ourselves. That's kind of how those things, that's the door that opens up to attachments. And so in this life, she's taken her damn life back. And this little thing is getting like, I legitimately, Mandee, I cannot even tell you. I saw it like a demon, like a demon in a book, like an old Satan demon. And I laughed because that was the most dumb way for it to manifest itself to me, because it's so cliche. I actually laughed and I felt so bad because like shit, I'm like, okay, like for real, you just came in with hooves, bro. And I saw this like goat faced thing and I'm just like, oh my God. So I had a conversation with it. We made it leave. It did what it did. And then I was like, look, give yourself a baptism, essentially. Take a bath, Epsom salts, call in some people, bless the water. If you want to, get a couple drops of your own holy water. You can bless that yourself too, by the way, y'all. Add some Epsom salt in there. Make sure you have some lavender. Call on your people, whoever you think about, know about, whatever. I usually call on St. Michael and some other people. I said, get a couple drops of some tar water. add that to that, dip yourself down and make sure you say a speech prior to dipping yourself. Like, I no longer give you power. You, from this moment on, I am baptizing myself. I am taking my soul back. It is mine. You are no longer able to have control, power over me. And so what we have to understand with those things is just like a house cleansing. I can cleanse my house once, but that doesn't mean that things aren't going to work themselves back in. And so it's very important for us to make sure that we continue on the process and take care of those things. And because she's had this thing following her around for God only knows how long, she's probably going to have to take a couple dumps in the tub. But at the same time, I also like explained to her how to kind of, stop things from attaching themselves to you during your day, because we all have Klingons. And once again, it's just us not being mindful of our own thought process, our own feeling process, and all of those things. Sometimes life gets a little busy and we forget who we are. And so we get more depressed, we get more anxious, we get more angry and upset. If you're not an angry, upset person, why would you be an angry, upset person in life all the time out of nowhere? Like, why would every single thing strike you like as in, I'm going to get you? That's not who you are. Why is that happening? Those are questions we have to ask ourselves. And if you're more open to those things, then it's kind of, like I said, it's that door. And once we realize that's what it is, that's when the ties get cut. And that's when we got to say, nope. See, I'm taking my power and my energy back and no longer shut that door. And so that's kind of what that was. It was probably one of the funniest things on my end. And I'm sorry for Tracy talking about it like that, but we all know how Crystal sees demons and such. I just, whatever. It's that much to me, but I can see how that would suck. I felt bad for her because I didn't even want to tell her the story. I'm like, God, I'm going to scare the shit out of this girl. I am so sorry.
Well, when a lot of times when we take a look at past lives, it's pretty dark. Like, it's not like we've had the best lives up until like recently here. We just got technology and indoor plumbing and being able to take showers every day and stuff like that. And things were a little rough in a lot of past lives. And unfortunately, there is darkness, and there still is slavery and sex slavery. And, people are still having kids for child labor and for other things like that. And so there are times that souls did choose to come into darker contracts to take a look at things and to share and to set an example and to, you can't heal a wound without shining the light on it. So like sometimes one of my favorite prayers that I heard Dr. Northrup say a long time ago was like, thank you for making it so dark making it like, I think it was like, thank you for making it so dark that I can't not see it. Or something like that. And it's so true, because that's how we start to evolve and heal. And it happens at a micro level within ourselves. And so if we can start to set ourselves free in this lifetime, it sets it free in past lifetimes too. And most of the time they're a little dark. They're not that glorious because we weren't that glorious as humans.
Right. All of us, medieval times, I'm telling you. We just had, Ben and I just talked about that. But Corey, I don't know. Oh no, one of us just had a
even your best lifetime was nasty looking.
So yes, Tracy has been breaking cycles since the 1700s, and it's pretty heavy, but at the same time, she's got this, and I have full faith in you, my dear. She says that it was okay for me to tell her story. Ben says, grounding using trees. He grounds using trees. And then Carrie says, I feel like she is talking to me too, but I have been struggling for 6 months. It's just so much. Hi, Jennifer. I'm watching on YouTube. Hell yes. The dragons are guides. Absolutely. Those are some powerful freaking guides too. I got to tell you, like, I don't know about Ursula. I don't know about you, but like Ben's dragon is kind of like, he's very calm. He's very like docile. But Lord have mercy, when that thing needs to come out, he comes out, and it's really cool. We have a stuffed tie beanie thing in our room with a red dragon that watches over us because it's his dragon. And then Glenda says, we're here for you, Carrie. That's why I love you guys, because you're all amazing. Jennifer says, Carrie, I send you lots of hugs and light. Yes, it's our Monday tribe. We are her soul family. Midge, I love your shirt. I do too. She did such a good job on it. Carrie, I've been asking all of them. My fourth graders are on fire. A lot of bullying and ugly energy. But look at the world, honey. These are children who don't know how to use their words. What you're seeing is a expression of emotions and feelings that they don't know how to put into words in an outer way. And it's coming out in physical forms, no different than it is on a world level, in a world scale. And so think of some of the, and it doesn't make it easier for you. I know it doesn't, because you're only one person. Ay, ay, ay. And I know, but at the end of the day, these children are reflecting what a lot of adults around us are doing, but doing in different ways. But you're seeing it on a small scale in your class. World War III happening in your class. And no, I'm not saying do not put words in my mouth. I'm not saying World War III is coming to us. Simply stating that these children are experiencing all these changes too. They just don't know how to put their words to it because they haven't been properly taught how to word. So,
but they are aware. I'm totally jumping in because
mhm,
I'm trying to remember, like when I was in
mhm.
fourth grade, I had like a couple like mean teachers, and I usually had nice teachers, and I'm like, this sucks. But also, it was O.J. Simpson trial was happening when I was in fourth grade, and I remember everybody in class had a freaking opinion about it. And you were like, it was my first time of realizing like there's a lot of political things going on and people take sides. And like I remember like hearing kids talking and it sounding just like their parents who I'd met at soccer games or things like that. And it was really interesting. So fourth grade, thank you for holding that space, Carrie, because that's like a time where kids are starting to become really aware and really conscious. And like 8, 9, 10, that's a lot of times when we wake up, we come into another awakenings. A lot of times there's major traumas that happen, shifts in perspective. Not saying it's easy, but this is all happening for them at this time. And it's so like important that you're holding that space.
She shared a picture one time that had me laughing hysterically. One of her children called her a bitch or something along those lines, an old bitch, I think it was. And so she like for her birthday, she wrote another picture and a card. I'm so sorry that I called you an old bitch. Happy birthday. It was the cutest thing, but at the same time, it made me laugh so hard because I'm like, oh, children. I love them. Mid, she has emotional mental trauma from that period. Absolutely, she does. Confusion, abandonment, guilt. You're perfect for the job. You can help her understand herself from that time. Your curse and gift. I love her for her words. I got to tell you, Jennifer, I hope someday that you like write a book. I really do, because you have such a beautiful poetry behind your words. Jennifer, trauma is in our DNA, muscles, etc. It's why it's important to break generational trauma. Tracy, Tubby Time has a whole new meaning for me. Hell no, I love it. I love her. She's so fun. This woman is fire. She says the ghost at the end of the hallway was the best. Yes. Uh, she needs to be on my other show too. Glenda says, powerful. You can't heal a wound without shining a light on it. And I love that, Mandee. Ben says, I love mine. Once again, wasn't paying attention, honey. I love you, but I don't know what you're talking about. Jennifer says, my daughter drew a dragon red on my mirror the other day. LOL, I'm looking it up. Yes, do. Yes, do. Glenda, I used to make up bedtime stories about dragons for my son. I really wish I had written them down. Love that. Maybe you can
I bet
remember
they
some
would
of
come
them.
back pretty quickly if you sat down with your journal.
Carrie says old ass bitch. That's what it was. It was the funniest thing ever. Like there was a whole picture that this kid drew, and she's like, I'm so sorry I called you an old ass bitch. Happy birthday. I was like,
That's
oh,
awesome.
that
Really hilarious.
child. She's going somewhere, that child. And then Jennifer says, Ursula, LOL, I'll come to the YouTube side next week. So Mandee, my dear, it is 8:08. Do you got anything else to bring to the table? Lay on your altar today? Say
808 is a
anything?
very, very powerful and divine number. Thank you all so much for tuning in with us here on Spirit Speaks on Monday nights with myself, Mandee Elam. I'd be honored to hold space with you at any time. Check us out. Give us a like, a share, a follow. We're on SeaGoddessHealingArts.com, and we have Sea Goddess Healing Arts on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We have online classes coming up, in-person classes coming up. We have a festival coming up in May, and many more things to come. So please keep up with us. And Crystal, how can people keep a hold of you and be in touch with you?
I am the Mitten Medium, and you can find me on my website at Mitten Medium. I think I should know this by now. Every week I get stuffed with this one. It's the same
Well, it's
every week, y'all.
interesting. I'm totally interrupting because Matt said, well, you change your name from Mitten Medium. And right now you're like, I keep getting stuck with it.
I went back and forth on that, and I'm not exactly sure if I will or if I won't. I'm not sure. I mean, there's probably a good probability that I will, because I'm not going to be in the Mitten anymore. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know I don't know yet, but I feel like that's probably gonna. I don't know when. divine intervention. When it's supposed to happen, it'll happen, I guess is how I'm putting it. I'm holding space for it, but at the same time, I'm like, right now I'm not worried about it. And then I'm also Spirit Speaks. If I changed it, it would probably be Spirit Speaks, because that's my goal, is to let everybody know how Spirit speaks to us, because we can't understand Spirit with love and out of fear if we don't know how they're communicating with us. And so you can find me at Spirit Speaks at Yahoo. And thank you guys so very much for everything today. You guys are amazing and wonderful, and I love you so much. And I know Mandee does too.
Big hearts. Thank you all. And yes, Tracy, I will get with you.
Bye.
Bye.